The sunscreen in your cabinet is absorbing into your bloodstream within hours of application. The FDA knows it. The brands selling it to you are in no rush to talk about it. After 40, your skin barrier is thinner, more permeable, more reactive. It absorbs more of whatever you put on it. That changes the math on every product you spray or rub into your face each morning. 9 SPF essentials every woman over 40 needs. Not the marketing version, the real one. 2 are products worth buying. The rest are truths. The sunscreen aisle would rather you never connected. Here is the first essential nobody selling you sunscreen wants to explain. Chemical sunscreens do not sit on your skin like a shield. They absorb directly into your bloodstream within hours of a single application. A study published in JAMA confirmed that common sunscreen chemicals exceeded the FDA's own safety thresholds in the blood after just 1 day of use, and they do not flush out overnight. They stay detectable in your body for weeks after you stop using them. Some accumulate in your organs. For women over 40, when the skin barrier is already thinner and more permeable than it was a decade ago, absorption is not a footnote. It is the entire conversation. Here is the second essential, and this one should have ended careers. In 2021, an independent laboratory called Valisure tested 294 sunscreen products from 69 different brands. They found benzene contamination in 78 of them. Benzene is not a sunscreen ingredient. It is not supposed to be there at any level. It is a Group 1 carcinogen, classified by the World Health Organization in the same category as asbestos and tobacco. There is no safe threshold. Its presence means one thing only, that something in the manufacturing process failed badly enough to let a known cancer-causing chemical into bottles that families were spraying onto their children at the beach. Neutrogena had some of the highest benzene levels detected. Johnson & Johnson recalled 5 aerosol sunscreen products, including Neutrogena Ultra Sheer, Beach Defense, Cool Dry Sport, Invisible Daily Defense, and Aveeno Protect Plus Refresh. Over 1 million bottles pulled from shelves. The company issued statements, managed the headlines, and moved on. No fundamental changes to manufacturing oversight were announced. No transparency about how benzene got there in the first place. And here is the question that should keep you up at night. Benzene was only found because an independent lab decided to look. If contamination this serious slipped through from the biggest brands in America, what else is sitting in your sunscreen that nobody has tested for yet? Even without benzene, the chemicals deliberately put into your sunscreen are raising alarms that the industry cannot keep quiet much longer. Oxybenzone is in the best-selling sunscreens in America. Coppertone, Banana Boat, Hawaiian Tropic, Sunbum's original line, CVS Health brand. It absorbs through skin and has been detected in 97% of Americans tested. Studies link it to hormone disruption, specifically affecting estrogen and testosterone levels. Hawaii banned it in 2021, not because of some fringe concern, but because it was killing coral reefs so visibly that the state had no choice. And here is where it gets uncomfortable for parents. Coppertone Water Babies is marketed specifically for infants and young children. The trusted family image, the little girl on the bottle. But children have thinner skin than adults and a higher surface area relative to their body weight. They absorb more of whatever you apply. That family-friendly branding was built long before modern science understood what these chemicals actually do once they cross the skin barrier. Sunbum plays a different game. Some of their products carry reef-friendly claims, but their best-selling original line contains oxybenzone, the exact chemical Hawaii had to ban to protect its ecosystems. The reef-friendly label applies only to their mineral products, not the brand overall. Consumers see the name, assume clean, and never check which specific product they are buying. That confusion is not an accident. Now consider the 2 filters working against you in ways most people never think about. Avobenzone is designed to protect you from the sun, and it breaks down in sunlight within hours. As it degrades, it forms harmful byproducts. The shield dissolves while you think you are still protected. Octocrylene is worse in a different way. A study published in Chemical Research in Toxicology found that it degrades into benzophenone, a suspected carcinogen and hormone disruptor, as the product ages on your shelf. The older your sunscreen, the more dangerous it may become. These are not obscure laboratory chemicals. They are in the tubes you reach for every morning without a second thought. 2 traps the sunscreen aisle has set for you, and most women over 40 walk into both of them every summer without knowing. The first is the spray. Aerosol sunscreens were hit hardest by the benzene scandal, and contamination is only part of the problem. Every time you press that nozzle, you create a mist of chemical UV filters that you and everyone standing nearby inhale directly into your lungs. The FDA has been requesting inhalation safety data from manufacturers since 2011. Over a decade later, that data still has not been fully provided. The FDA has not declared spray sunscreens unsafe, but they have not confirmed they are safe to breathe either, and the silence between those two positions is where your lungs are sitting. Testing has shown that sprays deliver uneven coverage, leaving gaps you cannot see because the product is invisible on application. The convenience is the selling point, and the convenience is the flaw. There is also a fire risk that sounds extreme until you read the documented cases of people catching fire near grills and campfires after applying aerosol sunscreen. Any brand, any formula. If it sprays, reconsider. The second trap is fragrance. Hawaiian Tropic built its entire identity on the scent of paradise, and that scent is working against your skin with every application. Synthetic fragrance compounds cause sensitization and allergic reactions. Combined with UV exposure, some become phototoxic, meaning they cause skin damage rather than preventing it. The product marketed as protection becomes an irritant under the very conditions you bought it for. After 40, when your skin barrier is already thinner and more reactive, daily fragrance exposure in a product you wear in direct sunlight is chronic, low-level inflammation you are choosing without realizing it. The same principle that makes fragrance-free moisturizers smarter for aging skin applies here with even higher stakes. If it smells like a vacation, your skin is paying for the experience. Here is the essential that cuts through everything else. Out of all the UV filters on the market, the FDA has fully confirmed exactly 2 as safe and effective: zinc oxide and titanium dioxide. That is the complete list. Every chemical UV filter, oxybenzone, avobenzone, octocrylene, homosalate, all of them, is still under review. The FDA has not declared them dangerous, but it has not confirmed they are safe either, and that review has been dragging on for years while you keep applying them daily. Mineral sunscreens work differently at a fundamental level. They sit on top of your skin and physically block UV rays like a shield. Chemical sunscreens absorb into your skin and neutralize UV through a chemical reaction inside your body. One stays on the surface, the other enters your bloodstream. For women over 40, when the barrier is thinner and absorption runs higher, that distinction is not a technicality. It is the entire decision. The white cast that people complain about with mineral sunscreens is actually proof that the product is working where it should, on your skin rather than inside it. The industry pushed chemical filters for decades because they feel invisible and elegant. They spread like moisturizer and disappear completely. That invisibility is the selling point, and it is also the warning sign. If you cannot see it on your skin, it is because it is no longer on your skin. This is the formula versus theater principle applied to sunscreen. The option that looks and feels less luxurious is the one the FDA actually trusts. The elegant one is still waiting on a safety verdict that may never arrive. So if mineral is the answer, which brands actually deliver it without compromise? The first one is Blue Lizard Australian Sunscreen, and it is the everyday mineral option that makes the switch painless. The active ingredient is zinc oxide. It does not absorb into your bloodstream. It sits on the surface and blocks UV physically, which is exactly what you want and nothing you do not. The formula is free from oxybenzone, avobenzone, octinoxate, and octocrylene. None of the chemical filters raising hormone disruption concerns. None of the ingredients Hawaii had to ban to save its reefs. You can swim in the ocean wearing this and not contribute to bleaching the ecosystem you came to enjoy. The bottle has a smart cap that changes color in UV light, a small detail that solves a real problem, reminding you when protection actually matters, rather than relying on you to guess. Water resistance holds for 80 minutes, which meets the highest FDA standard. They make formulas for sensitive skin, babies, and active sports, so the range covers the situations where you need it most. Dermatologists recommend it specifically for patients with eczema, reactive skin, and those who break out from chemical sunscreens, which is a growing group as women age and barriers become less tolerant. Yes, there is a white cast. Blue Lizard has worked to minimize it, but it is there, and by now you understand why. That visible layer is the mineral sitting on your skin doing its job instead of sinking into your blood and doing who knows what. Available at Target, Walmart, and Amazon. Priced comparably to the premium chemical sunscreens you are replacing. Same shelf, better formula, no absorption gamble. The second brand is Badger, and if Blue Lizard is the accessible everyday option, Badger is the one that refuses to compromise on anything. The active ingredient is non-nano zinc oxide, meaning the particles are large enough that they cannot penetrate your skin or enter your bloodstream. That distinction matters because not all mineral sunscreens are equal in how they are milled. The ingredient list is the shortest you will find on any sunscreen label. Organic sunflower oil, organic beeswax, organic jojoba oil, vitamin E. You can read every word and understand what it is. No chemical names that require a toxicology degree to decode. Badger is USDA certified organic, the same standard applied to the food you eat. Not a vague natural claim printed on the box to make you feel better while meaning nothing. They are a certified B Corporation, they publish transparency reports on sourcing and manufacturing, and they test every batch of finished sunscreen for contamination. When Valisure found benzene in the biggest names in America, Badger tested clean. They were reef safe before reef safety became a marketing line on someone else's bottle. They never used the chemicals Hawaii had to ban because they never needed to. The texture is thicker than chemical sunscreens. It requires more rubbing. This is not a flaw. This is what safe sunscreen feels like. Tinted versions reduce white cast for adults, and the kids' formulas embrace the visible layer as proof of protection. Available at natural food stores, REI, and online. Higher price than drugstore brands because organic certification and batch testing cost real money. What other brands promise in their marketing, Badger actually delivers in the formula. 9 essentials, and only 2 of them are products. The rest are truths the sunscreen industry has been hoping you would never connect. Chemical filters absorb into your blood within hours. Benzene-contaminated products from the biggest brands in America. Oxybenzone disrupts hormones and has been detected in nearly every person tested. Avobenzone breaks down in the sun. It was designed to fight. Octocrylene turns into a suspected carcinogen on your shelf. Sprays put chemicals into your lungs. Fragrance causes the damage it is supposed to prevent, and the FDA has fully confirmed exactly 2 UV filters as safe, both of them mineral. Blue Lizard for the accessible everyday switch. Badger for the no-compromise gold standard. Both cost roughly the same as the chemical sunscreens you are replacing, without the absorption, the hormone disruption, or the contamination risk. For your routine, mineral sunscreen goes on last, after your serums and moisturizer, before makeup. Reapply every 2 hours in direct sun. No sunscreen on this list or any other can undo the damage from skipping it yesterday. So consistency matters more than the price on the tube. I will be honest about the trade-off. Mineral sunscreens feel different. They leave more visible residue. They take more effort to rub in. That is the cost of a formula the FDA actually trusts, and it is a trade-off worth making every single morning. If you want the rest of what the beauty aisle is hiding, subscribe to Beauty Decoded. Next time, the skincare ingredients that cancel each other out when layered wrong, the combinations most women over 40 are making every morning without knowing. That one is going to change a lot of routines.